later. But here we should know user. To understand architecture, we should know user. So that is the reason we discuss this. Make it out. SAP architecture. SAP architecture is R3. Take like this, R by 3. R means real time. R means real time. 3 means 3-tier architecture. R means real time. 3 means 3-tier architecture. R means real time. 3 means 3-tier architecture. So in 3-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. Presentation layer. Make a note. In 3-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. In 3-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. First one, presentation layer. First one, presentation layer. Second one, application layer. Second one, application layer. Second one, application layer. Third one, database layer. Third one, database layer. So all 1500 users will have system. All 1500 users will have system. So I'll try to explain here. So is one user. Assume that he is one user working in system. He is another user. He is having separate system. He is another user having separate system. Now, like that, in our example, we have 1500 users. 1500 users will have 1500 systems. Every user will do something in system. Next, this is assume that this is application layer. And this is database layer. And all these we call presentation layers. The system used by end user will be called as presentation layers. So any request raised by presentation layer, suppose he wants monthly sales report. This person wants monthly sales report. So the request, he will enter something in his system, presentation layer. Then this request will be taken by application layer. This request will be first taken by application layer. In a sequence, like that, all 1500 users are doing something. So all the requests will be taken by application layer in a sequence. So here first person wants monthly sales report. The request will be taken by application layer and send this request to database layer. Then take the data. What is asking monthly sales report? Take the relevant data and give it back to presentation layer. Send it back to presentation layer. So this process is called as three-tier architecture. Here example, I have taken only one person request. Like that, all 1500 users are doing something. So all the requests will be taken by application layer in a sequence, one by one. And in a sequence, it will send the request to database layer, take the data and send it back to presentation layer. So this process we call three-tier architecture. This process will be called as three-tier architecture. So take this example, then I'll give the notes. All these are presentation layers, all these presentation layers and application layer, database layer. Take this example, I'll give the notes. Okay. So in three-tier architecture, we have three layers, presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Make a note, take first one, presentation layer. Take first one, presentation layer. Presentation layer. The system used by users. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. The system used by users will be called as presentation layer. Next line. Any request raised by present, sorry, 1 second. Next line. User is the employee of client. User is the employee of client. User is the employee of client. Who will use SAP? User is the employee of client. Who will use SAP? User is the employee of client who will use SAP. Client means in our example Ranbaxy terminology we call it as client. So user is the employee of client who will use SAP. Bracket who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Bracket who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Whenever I say transactions, so we discuss inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. Keep in mind. So inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. In real time, who will do all these in system? Users. We call them as users. User is a employee of client who will use SAP. Or for our understanding, who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Make it up. Next line. Application layer. Heading. Make it up. Any request raised by presentation layer. Any request raised by presentation layer Any request raised by presentation layer will be first taken by application layer in a sequence. Will be first taken by application layer in a sequence. And send the request to database layer and send the request to database layer. Take the data, take the data, take the data and send it back to take the data and send it back to take the data and send it back to presentation layer. Send it back to presentation layer. So this process we call third party process, three-tier architecture process. Okay, so database layer consists of the data. Database layer consists of the actual data. And here application layer acts as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Take that. Application layer acts as a mediator. Application layer act as a mediator. Application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer. Next slide. Database layer consists of the data. Database layer consists of the data. So this is about three-tier architecture. So SAP architecture is R3, real-time three-tier architecture. In three-tier architecture, we'll have three layers: presentation layer, application layer, database layer. The system used by users will be treated as presentation layer, and any request raised by presentation layer will be first taken by application layer and send the request to database layer, take the data and give it back to presentation layer. So this process is called as three-tier architecture. So here presentation layer means the system used by users. User is the employee of client who will use SAP, and application layer act as a mediator between presentation layer and database layer, and database layer consists of the actual data. Database layer consists of the actual data. So from starting SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. And SAP is an ERP package. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. If you want to see the success of any organization, you require proper planning in all the departments. And that proper planning is specified in ERP. So ERP specifies the planning in all the departments in an organization. And ERP also specifies how to utilize 4Ms. The 4Ms are money, materials, machinery, manpower. And as I said, SAP is an ERP package. We have other ERP packages available in the market. That is Oracle, PeopleSoft, BAN, Siebel, JD. But why only SAP is famous? The reason is SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. We can give solution for total enterprise, total company, total organization, because we have solution for each and every department in an organization. But other ERP packages not like that. They are specific to one department. They don't have solution for total organization. They don't have solution for all the departments. So that is one advantage with SAP. Only SAP will have solution for all the departments in an organization. And SAP is a tightly integrated product. SAP is a tightly integrated product. What do you mean by that? If you do transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. If you do the transactions in one department, it automatically updates in other departments wherever it is required. Future of SAP. So not only present, next 40, 50 years, you don't have doubt about the future of SAP because there is no competition to SAP. And versions in SAP. The present version is 6 and the most successful version in SAP history is also 6. And previous to this, we have 5, 4.7 like that. And after releasing 6 version, if any business requirement changes, SAP is releasing new enhancement packages. EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, EHP like that. The difference between one enhancement package to another is upgradation of the product. And the difference between one version to another version is also same, upgradation of the product. And will be called as functional consultants. And like that, we have technical consultants also in SAP. So in SAP, the consultants are divided into two, functional and technical. Functional doesn't require coding. Any functional doesn't require coding knowledge. But technical ABAPers, they require coding knowledge. So the modules, we have functional modules and technical modules in SAP. The functional are SD, FI, these are some core modules. And SD comes under functional and technical basis and ABAP. And SAP architecture, just now we discussed, it is R3, real-time 3-tier architecture. Here we have 3 layers, presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Take this, SAP landscape. SAP landscape. See here, any client, if they want to implement SAP, don't take the notes, try to understand. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, first thing is they have to purchase license that we discussed. We'll discuss once again later, next classes. So any client, if they want to implement SAP, first thing is they have to purchase license from SAP. And the second thing is they have to purchase servers. They have to purchase servers. So that we call landscape. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Make a note. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Landscape means arrangement of servers. Make a note. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, any client, if they want to implement SAP, then they have to purchase servers. Then they have to purchase servers. Any client, if they want to implement SAP, then they have to purchase servers. And SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. Minimum 3 servers. By maximum, some clients will go for 4 or 5. Depends on the client to client. But minimum 3 servers. Make a note. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. SAP suggests to purchase minimum 3 servers. Take this first one, development server. Take like this. Take the box, development server. Next, quality server. Next, production server. Development server, quality server, production server. So why we require 3 servers? So development server will be used, don't write. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. So we are the consultants. What is our main role is if to implement SAP, we have to study the client's business process and map that into SAP. In which server we do mapping? Development server. That mapping we call the terminology as configuration. So development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. And development server will be used by consultants. Development server will be used by consultants. Next, quality server. Quality server is for testing. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. And quality server will be used by consultants and core users. We already discussed users. Who is core user? Core user is also employee of client who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. Core user is also employee of client who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. Example, senior people, senior managers, like that. So core user, quality server will be used by consultants and core users. And production server is the live server where users will enter day-to-day live transactions into SAP. Where users will enter day-to-day live transactions into SAP. Live transactions means in sales and distribution, we discussed inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. All these transactions users will enter in production server. Is a live server. So production server will be used by users. Users means both end users and core users. Okay, make a note. First take development server. Development server will be used. Development server will be used to configure. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. Development server will be used to configure the client's business process into SAP. Next line. Development server will be used by consultants. We are the consultants. We will use development server. Development server will be used by consultants. Development server will be used by consultants. Next, second server, quality server. Make a note. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. Quality server will be used to test the scenarios. To test the scenarios. Next slide. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Quality server will be used by consultants and core users. Make a bracket. Core user is the employee of client. Core user is the employee of client who is having good experience. Who is having good experience and exposure. Who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. In client's business process. Example, senior managers. Now take third one. Third one, production server. Production server will be, production server is a live server. Production server is a live server. Production server is a live server. Where users will enter. Where users will enter where users will enter day-to-day live transactions, day-to-day live transactions in SAP. Day-to-day live transactions in SAP. Production server will be used by users. Production server will be used by users. Bracket core users and end users. Users means bracket core users and end users. We discuss core user. End user is normal person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Is a normal person, but core user is experienced person. So that's it. Now, so we in this 10 years, 10 plus years, we placed almost 9,000 students in various companies. SD 9,000 plus SD consultants in various companies. So what is the difference in Propel? So here in Propel, we have in-depth subject, every field, every function, every functionality. Everything we'll discuss in depth. So in SAP SD, everything we will cover, we'll discuss in depth. That is the main advantage. And we discuss real-time scenarios, real-time issues, and we'll give interview questions also, 1,000 plus interview questions, which will help you for interviews. And in this 10 plus years, we place 9,000 plus students and we take mock interviews. We will prepare your resume. We will guide you till you get offer, till you join in some company. You will have guidance from our side. So this is about Propel. So in this 10 plus years of training, we placed 9,000 students from Propel. And these 9,000 students are only SAP SD. So this is about Propel. So thank you for attending demo. Any doubts you can ask me now.
Sir, what is the meaning of enhancements package?
Enhancement package is nothing but developments. EHP stands for enhancement package, nothing but developments in your system. Enhancement is upgradation, nothing but you can say upgradation also. Okay, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, will you provide a server for us for practicing?
Server, you need to contact our staff, so they will guide you
Okay.
how to get server and all. The numbers you can see here, you can contact to those numbers, they will guide you how to get the servers and all.
Okay, sir.
Sir, quality servers used to test the scenarios. Then what type of scenarios occur, sir?
See, first we do developments, means we do configurations in development server. We'll move all the configurations to quality server. So here we'll perform testing. Testing means whether it is working fine or not. So in SD, we have some scenarios. We have some concepts. We have to do testing. At this point of time, I cannot explain this clearly. Suppose you will have one concept, credit management. Now you configure credit management. Now you will move that to quality server. And here you test it, whether that concept is working or not. That is nothing but testing the scenarios. So in SAP SD, we'll have some concepts. After every concept, we have to test it, whether it is working fine or not. Then only we will finally give it to production server, send it to production server.
Sir, I am completely new to SAP. Though I am having a almost 7 to 8 years career in sales and marketing. So if I join in SAP, so in future can I get a good career in this?
Yes. Yes, and not only you, the people who are attending, almost 60 people who are attending demo, all are new to SAP only. So if you want career in SAP, if you want a career in software side, then this is a this will help you a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Actually, I have a question. I have an experience of 5 years in sales and distribution line, and I worked as an end user in XP.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Your voice is not
Hello.
clear.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I work as an end user as SAP system, but I just want to know what is the basic difference of the core users and the end users.
Okay.
Since,
So end user is the person. End user is the person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP. Who will do master data in SAP. As you are saying, you are user in SAP. End users will do day-to-day transactions like inquiry, quotation, sales order, purchase orders, delivery, invoice, all these transactions. The people who will do, we call them as end users. From SAP point of means our consultant point of view. Core user is a person. Can you mute yourself? I'll explain. I don't know. Some noise from your side.
sir, it's
1 second. Yes. See, end user is the person who will do day-to-day transactions in SAP like inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, invoice. See, to implement SAP to any client, we don't know the client's business process as a functional consultants. So we require some person from client side who can explain the client's business process to consultants. So that person exactly we call core user. The person who will explain the client's business process to consultants. So who can explain the client's business process to consultants? So if he is having good experience and if he's having good exposure in that client's business process. So that I said, core user, generally run back seat will take senior person from a sales department as a core user. And that person is responsible to explain the client's business process to consultants. So consultant will understand that and then we will configure it into SAP. So core user is generally senior person who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process. So in our functional means SAP consultant's point of view, core user is the person who is having good experience and exposure in client's business process, who can explain client's business process to consultants. But end user will treat end user the person who is doing all these day-to-day transactions.
so
Yes.
So basically, the code user is the employee of the client, like the Ranback
Yes.
is the
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But who is having experience? Yes.
Yes.
Like example,
Sure.
senior manager person.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how many days it usually takes to install the whole process in for the client? This whole SAP process implementation.
Implementation, it depends on client to client. There is no fixed period. So it may take some clients 6 months, some clients 12 months, some clients 15 months. Depends on client to client, their business and their operations in how many countries they have operations. It depends on various parameters. But minimum is 6 months.
Okay.
Morning, sir.
Yes.
We have discussed about versions, right? After 6 versions,
Yes,
any
yes.
requirement will be affecting relating enhancement packages.
Yes.
So these versions are related to entire SAP or SAP ERP? I didn't get it.
SAP, yeah.
SAP ERP. Okay.
Yes.
So there is no any special versions for SAP SD or FICO or
No. Total ERP means all core modules involved in that.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Got it. Okay, the classes will start from Monday.
Sir, one more
The
doubt.
classes will start from Monday.
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, actually, I'm BTech student, sir. If you have any, I'm
See, as I
understand
said,
to lead.
yes. You will have 50% of BTech students from in our batch, and 50% of the people from other graduations. So only prerequisite is if you are graduate, you can do SAP SD. If you are graduate, you can do SAP SD. Any graduation, you can do SAP SD. Remaining, I will take care. But from your side, if you are graduate, you are eligible to do SAP SD. No prerequisite, no coding, no other related courses, nothing. If you are graduated and if you are interested to shift to SAP, just join. And remaining,
Yeah, thank-
I will take care of it.
Hello, Ravi sir.
Yes.
We are in degree BSc background, BSc computers. Is it okay for us?
See, that is what I am saying. Any graduation,
Okay, okay.
Whatever it may be, any graduation, any kind of graduation, you are eligible to do SAP SD.
Okay, sir.
Any graduation, you are eligible to do SAP SD. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So Monday onwards, we are starting this class.
Hi, sir. Hello, Ravi,
Monday,
sir.
1 second. Monday onwards, the regular classes will be starting. Okay.
Sir, what are the
Hello,
timings?
Ravi. Hello, Ravi, sir. Can I speak?
Yes, yes.
Sir, I have a doubt. Like now, like SAP is moving to one. Have moved to a new technology, right? This S4 HANA technology. Whether is there any
Not yet
change?
moved. We'll have time. We'll have time.
Oh, okay.
SAP is
Okay.
extended to another 10 years for that. You'll have time for that.
Oh, okay. Sir. Okay.
Okay.
So, is there any much difference in that, sir? Like as technology?
We'll have some slight difference. If you want to learn, we'll have that course also, but you have to join separately after completion of SD.
Okay, sir.
Okay.